dime lo que tú quieres de mi coqueta. Sé lo que te gusta es salir y se suelta. Cuando baila reggaetón pa' mí que muñeca. Me gusta salir y seducir.
We're live. Welcome back to Mescal Moguls. It's your boy, the one with the SkarxFace, your boy SkarxFace. And today we got another episode. It's just going to be me on this one, mainly because, well, you know, the co-host, John, he had to go take his mom, you know, to go somewhere in Washington. You know, we won't get all into that, but, you know, he'll be on the next one. But I really wanted to do this episode just because, first of all, let's get into it. You know, this episode is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You know, it's a subscription-based box, which I love. I always use. It's my go-to. They recently sent me some like deodorants because they want to show that they do a little bit of everything. They have like skincare, hair care, deodorants, of course the razors. And what's cool about it, it's all like a subscription-based box, so you can put whatever you want in your box, and every month they can send it to you. Or if you just want to try something out, you can use it just one time, and then they'll send it to you. You know, it's a monthly thing. I love it just because sometimes I forget to get razors. I forget to get razors. I forget to buy something, you know, and them being a monthly subscription box, they send it to you, and it's really affordable. The razors are amazing. Trust me. I love it. This episode is also brought to you by Chicanos. It's an NFT that, you know, we're working with that it's soon to be released. Trust me. I know I say it all the time. People are like, oh, you've been saying it for... It's because a lot goes on behind the scenes that you guys don't see. But, you know, we are working on it. They are coming. Trust me. Very, very soon. Let's get into it. So I wanted to do this episode just mainly because, obviously, consistency. And I had this topic that I've been wanted to address a lot because some people, they're like, I don't know what I want to start. There's different type of businesses. I don't know how to narrow it down. So today we're going to talk about a lot of these different businesses. And it doesn't have to be necessarily like if you're looking to do something, if you're not happy where you're at, if you're hating going into work, feeling like you're working, feeling like you're doing not what you're supposed to be doing, trust me, nothing is going to be handed to you. Nothing is going to come, and no one's going to come and be like, hey, here is this business. Go for it. You're going to make a lot of money. No, it's not how it works. So you have to find something that you love to do and then learn how to do that one thing. Don't try to do like a bunch of different things. That's what a lot of people, you know, make the mistake, is that they'll want to do everything. So they'll learn a little bit of everything instead of learning a lot of one thing, getting really good at that, and then eventually learning some other stuff to it. But you have to choose one thing, and whatever you choose necessarily might not be what you love to do. For example, when I originally started like doing videos or anything like that, because I learned how to do video first and then photo. Usually it's, you know, the other way around, but that's just me. So people will, not people, but I wanted to do YouTube. I wanted to be a YouTuber. I wanted to do, you name it. Like I wanted to be on YouTube. So that was my goal initially, is like, I'm going to do YouTube. That's going to be my thing. You know, for those that know me, obviously that took a different direction, but you see what I mean? Like the idea was there, you know, I wanted to do YouTube, but I wanted to, so that means I had to learn things. Like I had to learn how to use a camera, like all this other stuff. And then eventually it led to having my own media company, the podcast, you know, and now I barely even do YouTube, but which is coming back, by the way, but it's going to be media related. So if you guys want to follow me on that, it's also still SkarxFace. All my old Ross videos are still on there too as well. But you see what I mean? Like whatever you choose initially may not be exactly what you're going to do, but it could point you in the right direction. Which it did for me. I didn't know I was going to love doing media the way I do it now. And I'm always learning new things, always, growing. And so I wanted to sit down with you guys and, you know, help you guys narrow down, like let you guys know about all these people that I know, that are doing different ventures, doing different things. Cause I think that's when I have conversations with people, they don't know what to choose or where to start. There's no right answer, you know. Let me take a drink. It's just going to be me, so it's going to be a lot of water drinking because my mouth gets dry. So, I mean, I got my laptop here in front of me. We're gonna do this raw one-on-one live. That way, you're not like, oh, he like pre-made this. Now, top businesses to start in 2020. That's what we'll Google. And then I'll get into like some of this other stuff that I did have pre-planned to talk to you guys about. Let's see. This one says 30 unique small businesses to try in 2022. A cleaning service, which it's funny because we've had Timmy, who owns Moonshine Cleaning Services. He's also been on the podcast as well. Go check out his episode. But he does cleaning services, and so does Paco over at I forget the name of it. I'll let you know here in a little bit. I hate to forget. It's just I got a lot of things going on in my head. Like after this, I have a meeting with another client about some like content that they want to go over and like create. So that's why I'm saying like I'm all over the place. It's kind of insane. So I'll just because I want to show you guys. Let me actually look for it. I know it has a line. Imperial Cleaning. That's what it was. I wanted to say Alpha. I don't know why. Imperial Cleaning. They both do commercial things, commercial cleaning, and it's a business that they both started, and it wasn't something that happened overnight. I highly encourage to go check out those episodes. That way, you guys can see where they started and how they got to where. And a common thing that you're going to see in between everybody that I mentioned is all going to be consistency and doing it over and over and over, waking up, doing it when nobody's making you do it. This is all like no one has forcing me to be here. Well, kind of now since I have sponsors, but you know what I mean? Like I'm here because I love doing this and I love creating content for you guys. So, that's a cleaning service. It doesn't necessarily have to be commercial. It can be like residential. It can be whatever type of cleaning service, car cleaning services. I know a bunch of people are starting their own detail cleaning services. There's plenty of but car dealerships that will, contract you out to clean their cars because they're always, obviously a car dealership has to keep the cars top notch. So a cleaning service, you're not limited to anything. You're not limited to like, it has to be like residential, and it all starts somewhere. Like you have to go and like you have to find these clients. Just because you start an LLC doesn't mean it's gonna. All of a sudden, people are gonna come to you and be like, "Oh my God, you have this business. Let me contract you out. Let me hire you. Let's set up a contract." No, you have to go out there and you have to get these clients. You have to put in that work, and that's what I mean. Like nobody forces these guys in the beginning to go and like get these clients, find these clients, follow these leads. Invest into their company. So that's what I mean. Like you have to get up and you have to do it. Number 2, it says freelance writing business. I'm not like, for example, me, eventually I would want to hire someone who does writing just because I'm not the greatest writer, especially when you're making some ads and you got to create some scripts or just captions, different things that go in ads that are really going to hit hard. So freelance writing business, there's a lot of people who are not very good at writing, like myself, and they'll hire out people. So that could be something that you look into. And one way I could recommend getting into that, say you love to write, you love doing this type of writing, especially if you want to do like creative writing or ad writing, go to a company and be like, hey, let me do this. Let me know what you guys think. And then all of a sudden, like, if you like it, you can use it. If not, cool. I'll keep it moving. And what that does is like you'll create something, and if they like it, guess what? Now they got to pay you the next time they want to do it. I've done it all the time. You do something just because 1, you're trying to practice. 2, you are trying to show them what you can do. And sometimes not having the portfolio or anything like that, they're going to be like, oh, well, I don't know if I want to pay you that. But doing it like this, now they got that content and they're like, oh, wow, this guy's good. Or she's good. He's good, whatever the case may be. And now they're like, well, we want to do this, but we need, we're trying to hire you. And guess what? Now you just got a client just based off you showing them what you can do. So there's different ways to go about it. The way I'm telling you is not the right way. There's plenty of ways. There's hundreds of ways to get involved. Maybe you know a company, maybe your parents, maybe your friend, maybe something. Show them what you can do. And then also for YouTube videos, they have scripts too. Like some of these videos, they have scripts, and trust me that not one person can do everything. So if they can hire somebody for creative writing, perfect. So there's another one. I don't know too much about that, so we're not going to touch on that, which is Amazon Kindle publishing. Don't know what that is. A daycare. People got to work, and people have kids. So, going about it the right way, obviously. So my mom used to babysit kids, right? She loves kids. The kids would adore her. And she used to do it just out of the house, taking care of other people's kids. I think that's where I got to learn how to be so great with kids, because I love kids too. I don't have any, but I have my nephews, and they're amazing. I love them to death, and I love kids in general. Not in a bad way, but like I love playing with them. I like teasing around with them, holding them, playing outside with them, and things like that. So. That's why I'm always posting my nephew. You guys follow me on my social media. I'm always posting my nephew and my other nephew too. I don't get to see him as much too, but and sometimes I only get to see him like super quick just because I'm always moving. But daycare, if you do it the right way, because there are some of these, that one's really hard because there's those people who, you've seen the videos. They're trusting you with their child, and then you go and do something like, beat them or spank them. If I had a kid, I wouldn't mind you spanking them if there was a reason behind it. Like, say he was hitting another kid, and be like, "Hey, no, stop!" Slap their hand or something. I'm cool with it. Trust me. Like I got my parents beat the shit out. Well, not beat the shit out of me, but they spanked me when I needed to get spanked, and now that put me in line. So it made me realize what was right from wrong, and of course I still did a lot of wrong, but you know what I mean. But obviously in the daycare, you can't hit kids. So that's something you can think about, especially if you love kids and you want to, there's always a market for that, just because people got to work. People can't take their kids to work, obviously, and they got to find some sort of daycare. Some daycares, some people don't like the more commercialized ones because they're like, oh, it's more of a job to them. They're not really going to take care of my kid, and things like that. So there's plenty of daycares, and kids are not stopping anytime soon. And what I mean by that, people are having kids like crazy. Trust me. That's always a market you can be in. Daycare, like I said, I don't know too much about that. I do know that you need some sort of permits and things like that if you're going to do it that way. You can start out of your house. I don't recommend it, just because if you do get caught, you will get in trouble. But because if you do it at your home, I know my aunt out in Washington, shout out to David, shout out to Fernando, they listen to the podcast. Her mom is like certified, but there was a bunch of requirements you were supposed to do to the house to make it child safe in order for you to take care of kids. And you could only take care of a certain amount per adult that was in there. So that, these are things you have to research. These are things that you have to know in order to get this started. But like I said, do your research, figure out what's applies to your state and things like that. Pet grooming. People love pets, and people like to keep them, like especially the people who keep or treat their pet like their child. They get them groomed, haircuts, cleaned, you name it. There's always a market for that. Always, a grooming services. If you love dogs and things like that, you can run something out of your garage if you wanted to, or if you have a shop. There's, endless possibilities for this. Next one, we got aerial photography, which is the drone. So think about it. Say you buy a drone. They run anywhere from like low end. I recommend if you're going to get into the drone thing, you get one that's higher quality, like a DJI or something like along those lines. But those are going to run you about like $1,000 to $1,500, depending on which one you want to do. But they'll pay off. It's an investment. If you're looking to get into aerial photography or drone footage for companies or clients, especially when people have like huge real estate listings, like land, a ranch or something like that, they want drone footage, and you can charge to go out there, and it's not going to take too long just to get some footage. So that's something you can get into. Anytime you do a listing, you can charge anywhere. At first, get used to it. learn how to drive it, learn how to do the movements, the cool movements, because there's a learning curve to them. But then after that, you can charge per listing up to like 100 to 200, 300, depending on where you're at skill wise. So that's something you can also do. That's doesn't take very much time. That can be like a side gig that you do. And then eventually, as soon as you get enough real estate clients, like agents, they're the ones that reach out to people. Then you can eventually quit your job. It's something that you can do. These ones aren't so much. I'm trying to show you guys like entrepreneur type of what's it called, businesses. Social media management service. Now, this one's a picky one. The reason I say picky is because some people, when you say social media management services, they sometimes think that you're going to create the content for them, or you're just going to be the post. You have to make that very clear with your client. If you're there, like they send you all the stuff and you're the one running it, posting it, commenting, things like that, because that's all a job. Trust me. Responding to people is a must. Responding to DMs is a must. Engaging with people, going through accounts that use your hashtag is a must. And this all takes work. And especially if you have a large account or a large company, they don't have the time to do that. So they'll usually hire somebody out for that, and that could be you. And depending on your skill, you can research the different pricing levels for this. I know a lot of people will charge, depending on how long they'll spend on it. Like say I'm going to dedicate like 3 hours to a day to you. This is how much I'm going to charge, and so on and so forth. Or I'll just be, the more content you give me, the more stuff I'll post. And that's another way to have a social media presence and not really have to do anything about it. So trust me, the bigger businesses, they're looking for this type of stuff. They're looking for social media managers. So that's another option. And hopefully while I'm reading these, they give you like ideas, be like, oh, I don't want to do that, but I could probably do this. Or I know this company that needs somebody. I could probably, reach out to them. And don't be afraid to reach out, because what are they going to say? No? Okay, cool. Keep it moving. Like I've been told no a bunch of times, and it doesn't stop me at all. So that's another thing to look into. Web design. I mean, if you're, coding and things like that, that could be way away. But a lot of this stuff is being sent overseas because they do super cheap over there. So that's something you're going to have to compete with. And that's something, if you're asking me, I would not recommend to invest money, time into learning how to do that, because a lot of people are hiring people overseas to create websites because they charge not that much. So that's another one. Here it says coffee shop, but it's really hard because Starbucks is real. Starbucks, well, not so much Dutch Bros, but Starbucks, their plan is really aggressive. And what I mean by that is, like, if they see a bunch of coffee shops, they'll go and hopefully they don't listen. They'll go and they'll put like 1, 2, 3 Starbucks really close by. That way people will start going to Starbucks. And all of a sudden, like a mom and pop shop or a smaller coffee shop is going to be struggling. And then eventually they'll close down. And guess what they'll do with those other 3? They'll close 2 of them and keep 1 and move. Does that make sense? They got the money to do that. So that's why it's really hard. So you have to be unique. I know Caitlin and Jagan, they were thinking about doing, I don't want to say what they were doing, which was a great idea. Great idea. Hopefully they're still trying to do it, because that's something different, and that's something that Starbucks doesn't do. So sell online courses. If you're good at something, here it says DIY hacks. If you're good at real estate, TikTok is huge. Like, start posting stuff. Yeah, you may not get a lot of views in the beginning, but that's how it is. A lot of these YouTubers, they wouldn't get very much traction, very much views in the beginning, but slowly over time, people started watching it, and then slowly their content gets better. You don't have to be perfect in the beginning. This video isn't the way I would want it, but here we are. Eventually, I'll have like a whole studio set for it, and eventually, because the YouTube can do a lot of things, like you can sell courses, especially if you're like real estate, and then, or like me, what I'm going to try to do is affiliate marketing. And what I mean by that is, when I make YouTube videos, I'm going to show you what I use, the equipment that I use, and things like that. And then I'm going to post Amazon links. And then the Amazon links, if people use those Amazon links to buy stuff or the equipment that you linked, because like you'll get a commission off of that. Does that make sense? So if you're making money through AdSense, then you can make money through affiliate marketing, which is smart, because sometimes say I'm like, hey, I'm using this product. I'm holding a can. I'm using this product. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to create. Let me show you what I created. And then they'll show you, or like how it works. They'll be like, somebody watching will be like, I need that exact same one. Let me go click the link. Let me go buy it. Because some people like to see what you use, and then they'll buy what you use just because it makes them feel like they can create the same thing, which they probably can, but a lot of this stuff comes to your own creativity. So affiliate marketing, do you see how I'm talking about? Like, there's multiple ways to make money. There's not just one way. If you think small like that, you got to think big. Like, what are the different ways I can make money? Because a lot of these millionaires are not making their money through one source of income. Trust me, they got a lot. And that should be your goal, is trying to get a lot as well too. So home tutoring, there's home tutoring, video editor, which is a big thing. A lot of these creators, like YouTube videos, celebrities and things like that, are always looking for video editors, because they'll film all the footage and then all of a sudden they'll have a video editor do it for them. That way because editing takes a long time. So if they can just pay someone to do that and have more time to film content, they're gonna do it. Trust me. Shout out to Frugal Fit Mom. She was on the podcast as well. She's one that I do know, and she's open about it. She films all the stuff, and then she'll send it to go get, like, to her video editor, get it edited the way she wanted. You kind of build that relationship and know what they're looking for in the video, and then they'll send it back to you. They'll send it back to her, and if she likes it, it's good to go. If not, they'll make like small little changes and things like that. So video editors, trust me. I know there were some celebrities who posted that people were looking for video editors just to send a few your videos to see what you can do. So if you're into the video editing right now, practice. That's a big thing, because that's the only way you're going to get better, is like practicing. So if you're not practicing, you're not going to learn how to do like all these techniques, effects, camera movements, editing techniques, and it's a whole lot that goes into it. So that's why I always say practice. So video editors, people are always looking for video editors. I'm not even joking about that, just because companies realize how crucial social media, like having a presence on there, and say a CEO of a company doesn't know how to do it, they're going to hire somebody, or they're going to contract out to somebody. So that's where you can come in. That's where you can like do what you want to do. So there's always people, always. E-commerce is another one you can do, but you have to have like a certain product, a right product. You can't just like start one and then all of a sudden expect success right away, because I've seen them come and go. It's because at first people that purchase it are trying to support you, but then you got to have a reason for people to keep coming back. You can't have... You can't think that those same people are always going to be buying every month or every week or things like that. So you have to have good stuff on your e-commerce, whether it be clothing, tech products, you name it. You have to have some sort of like reason for them to come back. So that one's a little bit difficult, but if you have unique products and things like that, you can, one that comes up at the top of my head is I had the dude from... it's so many names, so many people. Sorry if I forget your name. From Three Sisters Meats. He's out of Boise. He does like if I'm not mistaken, like an Italian chorizo. No, a Spaniard chorizo. I think I can look up his info. Let's see. Three Sisters Meat. We also had him on the podcast too. Like, so don't forget about that. Go check him out. I bought some of the chorizo, and didn't send it to me. I purchased it because I love to support different people. You know what I mean? Like, I'm never like, hey, send me free stuff or anything like that. Is it this one? Oh, I think it is this one. So Three Sisters Artisanal Meats, and they have a special type of chorizo, which is really good, actually. I ordered some. I need to order some more. I just never get around to it. but definitely recommend it. Like if you have a special product like that, it's like a exclusive, not exclusive, or it's a family recipe that he uses. Really good. If you guys haven't tried it out, or go listen to his episode and kind of figure out or listen to his journey, just because it's not easy. It's not easy. None of this is going to be easy. So if you're expecting like an easy way, you might want to like go on to a different episode, because none of these are easy. These are just some ideas to get you started, because people struggle with getting started, which is, I understand, because I've been there, and I'm just helping you like maybe spark up an idea. It doesn't necessarily have to be any of these that we name. So Amazon fulfillment. I'm sure you guys seen the videos of people going to like TJ Maxx, discount stores, buying stuff, sending it to what's it called, Amazon, and then doing the whole fulfillment thing. Yes, you can do that, but that's going to take a lot of work, because you have to go to different stores, and hopefully you're going to find something. Then you have to look it up, and then you have to send a big box over to Amazon, which can work. Yes, it can. If that's something you want to do, you can do it. It's better if you're somewhere in an area where they have multiple discount stores. Here, it would be a little harder because we have Ross, TJ Maxx. There's another discount store. And then, of course, all these bigger retailer stores, they have their clearance section, but not everything that they post is going to make you, 3-4 times your money, just because you have to remember some of these stuff that some of these dudes are selling, they're only making like probably $4-5 each. And then after that, that way we don't get that. They're making like $4 or $5. But if they have like 100 of them, that adds up. If you only find like 2 and you're only making $10, you're like, oh, I'm only making $10, because Amazon charges you fees. Don't forget that Amazon charges you fees to send it to them, for them doing it. So another thing you can do, I'm pretty sure it's not on here. So Amazon has their what's it called? Their clothing stuff, where you can they have like cool prints, Christmas, whatever the case may be. You can upload your own designs and sell it through Amazon. And I was watching. I'm not very good at the whole coming up with the designs. I know some people are, so this could be an option for you guys. So what they do is they'll find a popular one. They'll go and search Amazon, and then find the popular ones, like the designs that are selling a lot, and then they'll recreate it, make it a little better, post it, and all of a sudden theirs start selling because it's slightly better, or you added something cooler to it, and things like that. And people make tens of thousands of dollars doing this, because people will see that, especially like holiday seasons. You make a cool Christmas one, people will buy it, and all you have to do is make the design. Amazon prints it, ships it. You don't have to worry about anything. They collect the money. They just send you your cut. So that's something you can do. I'm telling you, there's millions of ways to make money out here. You're just making it too difficult. And some people are using the excuse that they don't know what to do to stop them. Trust me. Like I said, I've done it before too. Personal shopper, maybe. I don't know if that's something I would recommend, just because a lot of people are shopping online now and they're not so much going somewhere to go shop. Maybe if you live in a bigger city, some of these rich people, they want somebody to go help them pick out outfits. Maybe they don't know how to dress that well. Handmade crafts definitely works. Etsy. There's Etsy where you can buy stuff off Etsy. People, or just doing recently, I've been looking at these rings because I love accessories. Her name's Rings by Liv. I think she's still in high school. Makes custom rings, sells them on Instagram. I'm sure she's doing pretty good because she's doing a lot of these. So that's something to look into, like handmade crafts. That's a big thing, especially in the Etsy world. Let's see. Teach English online. I don't know if that's something. I've never gotten into that. So you got teens can do car washing, but that comes back to the detail cleaning services. You can start your own detail cleaning service if your parents are cool with it, or if you have your a shop or something like that. You can use your driveway, your garage, you name it. You don't have to make it super complex. You don't have to have some sort of building. Eventually, if it grows, you can get a building. but you can just start somewhere at your house, or you can go to people. That's I know some people have like the mobile detailing services, so you can drive to them, just have your stuff, drive to them, clean it, and then go. And that's something low overhead costs. You don't have to pay a shop, or you don't have to pay anything. So that's something you can think about. Oh, look, podcasting. But you can definitely get into podcasts. I've never hold anything back to people. You know how some people are like, oh, this is what I do. I'm not going to tell anybody because I want it all for me. Nah, there's thousands and thousands of podcasts out there. But the one thing, or there's a few things that I recommend if you're going to start a podcast is, one, to have great sounding audio. I don't care if, don't use your Apple iPhone headset. Don't use those ones that dangle on your ear. Don't use those. If you're going to start a podcast, at least invest into the microphone. There's plenty of cheap USB mics you can buy. There's plenty of cheap mics that you can buy that are going to sound better than just using your phone, like Zoom or anything like that. Audio goes a long way. Because I've listened to some podcasts and I did not like the audio, and it completely tunes me out and I'm gone. I don't listen to the rest of the episode. But if you have good audio, sounds more professional. Trust me, like if I had this, like say I only had the camera audio from there, it probably sounds super echoey. You sound far away, distorted. You could hear every little noise that happens. But I have this, the Rodecaster, which is amazing for audio, for podcasting. I love it. Makes a super professional. So sound is a big thing. And the second biggest thing that's just as important as sound is your content. If you have shitty content, people are not going to come back. If you give them great quality content, they're going to come back. And for example, I've had people reach out to me who wanted to be on the podcast, but I'm like, well, what kind of content are you going to bring to it? What kind of, are you entrepreneur? You have some sort of story, some sort of content? Because if you don't, like, I want people to tune in and listen and get something out of it. I know some people who had a podcast too, and they just interviewed everybody and everybody. Anybody and everybody. And some people are just not interesting. They're not interesting. I'm not tuning in to see what your friends are doing. I'm tuning in because you're bringing me some sort of good quality content. Like even if you're talking about like pop culture or a certain subject, it's great quality content. So that's another big thing. So if you can lock those two down, you can definitely, have a successful podcast. So that's what I try to bring on this podcast is like great content like this. This is amazing. I wish somebody would have, went through stuff like this and gave me some ideas, So I was like, let me share some of this stuff. That way you guys can see like some of the people that we've had on the podcast. Amazing stuff. But those are just some. I wanted to go actually to our podcast and see all the episodes. That way I can like touch base on some of them. Oh, and which reminds me, what's his name? Rob, Diamond Rob, shout out to him. He's out in Texas. He does a lot of stuff. For example, something he's doing is ATMs. ATMs, like people are like, what do you mean ATMs? So he buys ATMs and then he'll, ask or, find places that are cash only or accept mainly cash. And it's mainly like barbershops and stuff like that. That's what he was telling me. And, each time they pull out cash, that's a fee for you. Like that fee is yours, you know what I mean? Because you own the ATM. And that fee is like, of course, it's only like $3, maybe $4, but say they use it 100 times in a day. Come on. Of course, there's a few costs behind it. Obviously, you have to buy the ATM, which he says runs around $2,000. And then after that, you have to have some sort of internet for it, which is only like $15. And so that ATM can pay itself off over a period of time, depending on how well it does. And I forgot how many he has. He has over 10 now. You know what I mean? It all started with one, and then he got another. And he has a business partner with him. But you see what I mean? Like there's ideas all over the place. You're just waiting for an idea to be like, that's the one. Oh, look, it just happened. No, there's different ways to make money. you're not going to get rich overnight. So if that's what you're expecting, it's not going to happen unless you win the lottery or you go viral with some sort of product. But trust me, how often does that happen? Let's see. There was some that I wanted to get on here. Like we had Talent Say, YouTuber. He's up to almost over $500,000. Let's see. Where can we? Because there was a few on here that I wanted to touch base. So, like I said, if ATMs, that's a big one. He's his goal. I forgot how much he was making, but his goal is to make like $8,000 a month off the ATMs. And yes, you can make that much money, and he's getting close. Don't get me wrong, he's getting close. But that's not his like full-time job. He has like other things going on. This is what I'm saying. Like, try to find ways to make money where you don't have to like making that passive income while you're sleeping. People are listening to the episodes whenever. Some people listen to them on Monday when we release them, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They're always getting listens. So that's another way to get, that passive income. So that's one way for me. I have some other things that I'm working on. Mindy, she was a personal trainer and a life coach. She's a very positive person. Here I see Timmy with Moonshine Cleaning Services, which he has a crazy story too. We had Alex, real estate investor. He flips houses, and he was telling us how just as little as $500, he was being able to buy houses to flip. So there's ways. Trust me when I say there's ways. Let's see. We had Rhett Panther, Power Needy. He does a lot of racing cars and things like that. Brandon from H2O Industries. His story was crazy. That episode did really well, and very motivating too, just to see where he came from and where he's at now. And now I see him on Instagram too, and his company is growing. It's crazy. Dustin from Tin Dust Customs, we've had him on. He makes custom grills. You see how? So, Brandon H2O Industries, they make covers for like, it could be like a jet ski, boat, you name it, like high quality covers. And then Tin Dust Customs, Dustin, he does custom grills for like trucks and things like that. So you can see like the variety of different places where you can make money. You can think about getting into it. You're not limited to anything. It can be like, say you have an idea. I'm looking at a tripod right now. You have an idea for this great new tripod. Make it, sell it, like try to make a prototype, try to patent it, try to do, because photography is not going anywhere. Cameras need to be held by something. So that's Heather Baldwin, Peak Level Physique. They're personal training for bodybuilding, lifestyle clients, you name it. She recently went and did a show out, and I forgot where she went, but she killed it. So if you love the gym and you're in great shape, looking to get personal training, like get actually certified. She's working over there with Jeremy, and she has a few other people working with her too as well too. Barbers, people need to get their hair cut. Not me right now, shout out to Weech, but I'm growing my hair out and trying to go for that. I got this long, crazy stuff going on behind my head. Chris from Off Grid Syndicate does a lot of like motocross stuff, leather work. Like I'm saying, like there's ways to make money. You're just, we've had Lyndon, who's a car photographer. He kills it with the car photography. Let's see. Oh, it was Jaime Fernandez from Three Sisters Meet. We had Coco and Mari from Divine Expressions, and I know Coco started her own. I forgot what it's called, but you see, like they're in the hair industry. Neldon, we had Neldon on here. He's the lead singer for Adictos, but he also has his own company, the Alpha Tile. He has a lot of things going on. He has real estate investments, money everywhere. There's ideas all over the place. Tia from the Eclectic Chair, also another person in the hair industry. You name it. Pelona from Garcia Street Taco. She has her own taco shop, which doing it's like a restaurant, and they serve tacos. They serve all sorts of stuff. but the point that I'm trying to get to is that you're not. There's no right idea, and maybe you choose to do the hair industry, but you didn't like. You don't actually like doing the hair. You like teaching people how to do the hair, and all of a sudden, like you get a position doing that. You don't. There's a bunch of ways to find what you want to do. What you originally choose doesn't mean that's not it, but it shouldn't stop you from trying. Like if you're looking to start some sort of online business, make sure it's unique, make sure it's different, start it, invest some money, because at the end of the day, what I don't like to do is live with regrets and saying that, what if I would have done this? What if I would have done that? What if I would have never done none of this? So there's always, people always find a reason to hold them back, which we shouldn't. Or wanting, like, I never tell people my ideas anymore, because before I would be like, oh, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do. But if it doesn't happen, they'll be like, oh, what happened with this? And I'll be like, oh, well, like a lot of things didn't line up. But now I'm just like if I want to do something, like I needed to get a new studio, made it happen. We've been building it over there. Great. I've been getting a bunch of new content that I wouldn't be able to in here. This is going to be here until June, because that's when my lease is up. So we're going to run the podcast out of here until June. But you see, like, I like to tell people about the whole YouTube thing. I was working a labor job. They didn't give me a raise, so I was like, oh, let me get a camera. Let me go full on YouTube. Let me try to make this work. But then that led me to like creating content for like companies, businesses, taking pictures, you name it. Then also it led to having my own media company. And then from the media company, I had the idea I wanted to do a podcast, started a podcast, and now, look, it's grown beyond what I thought it was going to grow. Because, that's the goal. I always tell people that's the goal when you start something, is to make it get big, grow an audience. But then when it does, you're like, oh shit, like it actually happened. And that comes down to the consistency, and some of the things that I've been telling you is that having great content, great audio, major things. So, hopefully this episode gave you guys an idea of something, like making a list, starting something, starting somewhere. There's no right idea. No one's going to come and be like, this is the right idea, this is what you got to do. No. There's a bunch of different ways to make money, a bunch of ways to become an entrepreneur. If you just have to find what interests you, what you're passionate about. Just don't try to do 10 things at once. Let's write down 10 things that you would like to do, narrow them down, and then like let's go top 3. And then from top 3, like we'll go all in on one thing. Because learning how to do one thing really well goes a long way than knowing how to do 10 things just mediocre. If you know how to do one thing really well, then you can learn other things. For example, like if you're looking to get into video, learn how to do video. Like don't be like, oh, I'm trying to learn video and pictures at the same time. I'm also trying to learn how to do like graphics all at the same time. No, because your mind's going to be all over the place. It's going to be overwhelming. You're probably going to give up. So if you want to do video, figure out how to do the best type of videos that you like, how to film them correctly, color grade them, put them together, some sort of storyline behind them. And then once you get that, once you get a gist of that, because you're always going to be learning, then you can start learning how to do photo, because then it's going to help you compose better shots in your videos, learning how to do photo, or vice versa. So, and then from there you can start adding graphics, you name it. It's all a process. Learning how to do one thing really well goes a long way than learning how to do 10 things mediocre, because then you're going to be mediocre at 10 things instead of being really good at one thing. So again, that was my gist. So if you're struggling with ideas, reach out to me. There's plenty of people that we know here on the podcast and that we're going to have on the podcast in the future. If you need hopefully it sparked some sort of idea for you guys to start something, to get motivated to something. See, I just got a bunch of people going through my head. Justin, I gave that story about how he's, got the idea of selling knives, EDC gear, and things like that. And all of a sudden, he started from doing gun and knife shows, and now he has his own physical location, and now he's actually getting into taking pictures too. So that dude is hustling. He's grinding. Trust me, there's plenty of ways to get involved somewhere. Or in the beginning, you just got to put in that time. If you're looking to get in real estate, surround yourself by real estate investors, real estate agents. Listen to books. Read books. You name it. Watch videos, because you're gonna learn a lot of things, and you're gonna see what people are consistent with. Like, oh, all these people do this, so that and they'll give you an idea to who to reach out to, who to talk to. There's endless amount. At the end of the day, what we do is we let ourselves stop ourselves. So let's not let that happen. Thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you guys on the next one. We'll see you guys.
Dime.